Hello and welcome. This is Michele Christensen of OneNote Worthy Life, and this is a Plan With Me video for October of 2020. I'm filming in OneNote for Windows 10, and I'm going to walk you through how I evaluate the past month and set new goals for the upcoming month. And as usual for my Plan With Me videos, I've already done this process, so this video is kind of a summary and a walkthrough. I like to film after I finish my process so that I have time to really reflect and make some good decisions for the upcoming month. And as you'll see, the pages I use in OneNote are pretty basic, so there's not really much to show in the way of OneNote tips or techniques. And just to kind of update on the big news right now, I'm in California and the COVID cases are still really high where I am, so everything's still pretty much closed down. But I'm pleased to see we're getting very, very close to moving up to another category where some things will be allowed to reopen. So let's get into it. As always, the first thing I do is I start with a review of the prior month's goals, which in this case is September. I have a page set up for the month that has the goals on it, and then I just add my commentary in color. The color doesn't have any meaning. I just pick something that I like for that month. So I do most of my evaluation at the end of the month, but I do make observations kind of as I go. So this page shows my goals for OneNote Worthy Life, which is my YouTube channel and blog. And the first goal is my editorial calendar. So I wanted to follow an editorial schedule, and that's kind of where I lay everything out ahead of time. Not only YouTube content, but like the community page, my different Facebook groups, like all of my content. And I've been working on this for over a year, so this has been a long process, but I'm getting like really much better at it. It was also quite ambitious for the month of September because I've started a series of live streams, and it added a lot to my content calendar that I wasn't used to, so it was pretty challenging. So the measurement I've put in place over the last couple months was to get the first video of the next month, which is usually a Plan With Me video, posted on time, and then if it's late, I measure how late it was. Well, the first month I did this, it was 8 days late. Then it was 7 days late, and this month I'm only 2 days late. I'm going to go ahead and fill that in on the screen we're looking at here. Yeah, so I feel really good about that. I'm getting very close. And I feel like I just need a few more months, maybe 2 or 3 more months to get this skill to where it's not something I'm striving for, but something that just happens as a matter of operating. Like it's just that's the way things are, and I just do it. Once that happens, I'll put this goal aside and move on to the next thing. And then I have a note to myself too, which is don't try and optimize too many things at once. It's too hard to balance the different priorities, and I was thinking of adding another measurable goal, but I'm going to save that for later. So that was just something I wanted to make sure that I didn't make that mistake again. And I consider this a big win, even though I didn't exactly stick to my editorial calendar. To go from more than a year ago to not really having any sense of how to stick to an editorial calendar and how to plan things out ahead of time and all the steps that needed to make that happen, to only being 2 days late on this video, to me, that's massive progress. And I'm just a few steps away from having this be just kind of like, work as usual. And it's also really cool because with this particular goal, it's another one where I'm able to show like kind of the full cycle of it. Like it started last year, it's been over a year. I think about 14 months I've been working on this. Started with an idea. I kept troubleshooting the problems, fixing things one by one, modifying the tracking tools I use, and now I'm pretty close to accomplishing it and putting it on, the back burner and moving on to something else. And I really like that full cycle, or full circle, I should say, really. And it's really taught me, like doing this kind of like monthly planning process has taught me that I can accomplish a lot of things if I just kind of stick with it and don't give up and have patience. A lot of the things I try and do are just not fast things for me. It takes me a while to get to them. So the second goal I had was to make progress on the OneNote Planner Creator Series. And if you haven't heard or seen any of the creators, I've put together a series of live streams featuring people who create planners specifically for OneNote for the calendar year 2021. And this was an idea I dreamed up at the end of last year, and I wasn't sure if I was going to do it this year, or if I was going to do it a different year, or what. And I just decided to make it happen. And I've been kind of alluding to it as like a mystery fall project in the last few Plan With Me's. But I announced it last month, and the first few creators have already done their streams, and I have a few more to go. And so it's been really fun to see all the different creative, beautiful, and useful planners people make that make use of all of the features of OneNote. And I have become very passionate about online communities and this idea of pooling our knowledge for the good of everyone and sharing what we know and exchanging ideas. And anytime I can do that, like bring together people who create planners with people who want them, all in OneNote, that just is such an awesome experience. So the series is going great. I'm really happy with it, and it should be wrapped up by the end of October. It might go into November. That would be fine. That really depends on the people I'm streaming with and when they're free to schedule. But I have met my personal goal of not ever holding anyone up. Like, I didn't want to ever be the bottleneck on that. And yeah, I've done that. So I feel great about that. And I'm really excited to do this because this was a really ambitious goal because I've never put on an event, much less created one from scratch. And I did it all by myself. So there were a lot of moving parts, a lot of things to learn. And overall, I'm really pleased with how it's turned out. If you're interested in getting a planner that was created specifically to use in OneNote for next year, for 2021, there's a link to the playlist in the description of this video. And also, you should make sure you're subscribed to this channel and with the bell turned on, because that way you'll get notified when the live streams are scheduled. They're kind of on a very unpredictable schedule because everyone's in different time zones. So on to September's personal goals. So some of these are going to seem familiar. So for my calorie goal, this is kind of the first thing I start with because it's health related. And for me, like, health is probably the single most important area in my life to me. So I'm actively working to drop some extra weight. So I have a calorie goal of how much I want to under eat by on average for the month. And I've had the same goal a couple months in a row. I didn't hit it in the first month, and I didn't hit it again this past month, but I got a lot closer. So I left that where it was, and we'll see if we can hit that this month. The really great thing, though, is that outdoor fitness classes and gyms have reopened. So a lot of the gyms are not open. Like, you can't go into a gym and work out, or a fitness studio. But there have been so many creative ideas to move these fitness classes and workouts outside. So the gyms and fitness centers are using spaces like parking lots, actual parking spaces, rooftops, patios, even like an office courtyard and that kind of thing, just to resume workouts. And it's been amazing. I have been feeling so great. I'm so glad to get back into my favorite workouts. And even though I didn't hit my calorie goal, my body composition has improved. I use a scale that gives details on your body composition, and so I feel great about that. So the next goal has to do with my area of be ready. That's my kind of current theme right now. I want to be more ready for whatever life brings, whether it's opportunities or things, problems that pop up or whatever. I want to just be more ready and more able to respond appropriately. And so I have been focusing on doing all of my daily habits regularly for this month and really building that into my daily routine. And I didn't do so great on that this month, but it was a very chaotic month in September. And we're a little ways into October, and I'm already doing better on that. So I feel good about that. And I at least made an effort. I didn't totally just throw things aside. The next goal I have is to finish the HVAC, that stands for heat, ventilation, and air conditioning. We did a big upgrade to our system in March. And if you've ever done a home improvement project, you might be familiar with this idea that the big project gets done and you're left with a dozen small things to do. And that's where we're at right now. And this has kind of been lingering for a while, so it's starting to bug me. I didn't make any progress in that, but the reason for that is because the OneNote Planner Creator Series took a lot more time than I expected. And it was just time that I couldn't really predict. Like, I just didn't know how long certain things were going to take because I've never done this before. So I did make a conscious decision to put the time into that OneNote Planner Creator Series and not work on these low priority little tasks. So I'm, on the one hand, I'm kind of bummed that it's still lingering after all this time. On the other hand, I do feel like I made a good choice with where to spend my time. And then the final goal I had was I've been working on this online program. I'm a participant. It's not my program. I'm participating in a program called the Productivity Bootcamp, and it's created by a YouTuber I follow. Her name is Jordan Page, and her channel is called Fun, Cheap, or Free. And this Productivity Bootcamp is it's an online program with all kinds of like just tips and tools and techniques and thoughts and ways that you can make yourself more productive in the ways that you want to be more productive. It's very much a program that you can make personal to yourself. Um, so I finished my first pass, which is what I wanted to do, and I want to make plans to redo it because there was so much in there, and I feel like it really advanced my thinking and my knowledge on this. So I want to go through and do it the whole thing again. So I have a goal set to get that started in October. So what else? Oh my gosh. So this is a free form section that I include every month because I can record things that come up, whether they're good, bad, indifferent, whatever. Anything that happens that kind of impacted the way the month unfolded for me. So the first thing is I started studying German in Duolingo, which is a language app. And I've been toying with the idea of learning another language for a while. And I have been I've joined Kurt Suzer's masterclass. You can find that at OneNote-masterclass. And that is a really, really enthusiastic community of OneNote users. A lot of educators, but other people as well. And the thing is, the bulk of the content is in German right now, and there might be plans to add some more, like an English language section to it. But it was kind of just the two things happening at once, which is that I've kind of been wanting to learn another language, and now I have a place and a motivation to use it. So that's been really fun, and I've really enjoyed that. And it's interesting how quickly just learning a few little bits and pieces makes it easier to look at things and have some comprehension of them. So the next thing I have on here is I found myself doing a habit that I don't want to do anymore, which is to stop. I want to stop randomly checking things. So I would have like a moment of stress or overwhelm, and I would start checking things. I would check my email, and I would check my Facebook notifications, and I would check my YouTube notifications, and I would check my text messages and stuff, thinking that the overwhelm or the unease I was feeling was due to something that I had missed. And I have pretty good routines in place to stay on top of all these things, to check them at certain times of the day, process everything that's in there, and if it's actionable, I put it on a list to take action and that kind of thing. So I don't really need to be randomly checking. It's also unlikely that I would miss something. And so if I'm feeling unease or overwhelmed, the last thing I should be doing is randomly checking for new things that I might have missed. That's like the not the thing I should be doing. So I want to stop doing that. A third thing I noticed is that I want to stop forwarding tasks. It's just a waste of time, and I want to start working toward putting items just for today on today's page, and maybe look at some ways of quantifying this. And I've tried to do this before, and I haven't quite found a way to do it. And I do think that this is one place where using a paper and pen bullet journal is really helpful, because if you have to actually physically rewrite things, it kind of forces you to rethink, like, is this worth writing down again, or does it need to be done at all? So that's just a thought I had. The next point on this is I have been having some conversations this month about getting things done. That's the Book and Productivity System by David Allen. And I really want to reread this. I've read it twice, but it's been a few years. And I think I may want to make a plan maybe sometime next year to do like a big GTD reset, reread it, implement it from scratch based on the tools I'm using now, the life I have now, and that kind of thing. So we'll see. That's kind of on the future agenda. The next thing on here is that I started using an app called FocusMate, and I absolutely love it. That'll be linked in the description if you're interested in that. But it's an online app that pairs you with a random person for a 50-minute work session. That's 50. And you check in verbally, say, hi, what are you working on? And then they'll say, I'm working on XYZ, what are you working on? And I say, I'm working on a blog post. And then most of the time we both mute our own mics, although that's not required. It just seems most people do that. And then we sit and work virtually with our cameras on. And then the timer goes off at the end of the 50 minutes, and we say, "Hey, how'd you do?" And the other person, you exchange that. And I have found it helps me so much to commit to something, to stay seated in my chair, to finish it, to do it, to stay focused on it. And then, when you have a good result, you have someone there to celebrate that with right in the moment. And you wouldn't think it would make a big difference, but it's amazing. I love it. And they have a free level, and then the paid level is only $5 a month. And I upgraded to the paid level in less than a week. That's how much I love it. So the final point was, as I mentioned before, September was a very chaotic month. My husband was working 7 days a week for about 8 weeks, ending late in September. So it has been very chaotic. Our car was vandalized in August, and they stole the catalytic converter, which I guess has a high resale value. So we weren't really able to address that with him working 7 days a week. So it hasn't been that big of a deal because we walk and bike ride most of the time anyway, but it has created some inconvenience and a little bit of like unexpected, time sucks and that kind of thing. My fridge sprung a leak, so I had to get that fixed, and then the fix failed, so I had to have the repairman come back again. The OneNote Planner Creator Series took a lot more time than I expected. And also, the OneNote Planner Creator Series added a lot of scheduled events to my calendar, and I have a lot of unscheduled time, so I can just sit and crank on tasks. So that was just a shift in the way I worked, with having a lot of scheduled things that I needed to be ready for and, plan for, and then, wrap up when I was done. So September was a great month, but kind of chaotic in some ways. So the last thing I do is to check, or the second to last, is to check my annual plan. And this is what I thought I would be doing in September when I set up my year at the beginning of the year. But of course, like nothing in 2020 is going according to plan. But even at the beginning of the year, I only put one family birthday on there for September, and we did manage to celebrate that virtually. And then in the green text, I added the OneNote Planner Creator Series when I decided I was going to make this happen. Probably July that was, and I knew it would be September, October, and maybe into November. I've also been leaving my annual plan very light. I've been doing this for about 5 years, and what I have found was I way overestimate how long things take, or I overestimate what I can get done and underestimate how long things take. So I've been leaving a lot of months very light, and I've been really glad for that. It just has been so helpful, and it's given me a lot of peace of mind to have a much lighter schedule for the year. So now the last piece is my September calendar. And as you can see, I don't use this to keep appointments. I usually write down one good thing that happened each day, and I just love seeing it all like colorful and filled in. And this is just something I love having in front of me. I'm a very concrete thinker, and so when I look at this, what I see is just a whole page full of proof that good things happen to me. And it also helps me enjoy those good things more because I'm looking for them because I know I have to fill this in at the end of the day. So it helps me observe them more, and then I get to enjoy them when I write them down and when I look back on this calendar. So now it is time to get set up for October. So my starting point for each month is always my annual plan and then my goals from the prior month. So my October annual plan, nice light month again. We have one family birthday. And then I hope to finish the Planner Creator Series. Not totally in my control, though, so we'll see how that goes. And then for OneNote Worthy Life, I want to follow that editorial schedule again. And that measurable goal I have is to get my November plan with me. That's my first video for November. I want to get it posted on time and measure how many days it's late, if it's late. There should be less work in the OneNote Planner Creator Series. From now till the end of it than there has been so far. So hopefully the editorial calendar will go easier this month. I want to continue to make progress in the OneNote Planner Creator Series as I'm able to. And again, like my whole thing with this is I just don't want to ever be the bottleneck. I don't want to hold up any of the creators that are coming onto my channel, or anything like that. And so far, I've been able to do that. So that's great. And I do hope to finish in October. If it goes into November, that's fine too. So the interesting thing about where I am right now with this, my business goals, is that I'm pretty close to getting on my editorial calendar and being able to follow that and hit that regularly. The OneNote Planner Creator Series is going to be done in October or maybe even November. And once that happens, I am going to be free to pick a new goal. And I'm really, really excited about that. I have pages and pages of ideas of things I want to do. So I'm really excited to pick another one or two more goals to start for the next phase of things. And um, I don't know what they're going to be yet. We'll see, but I'm just really excited about that. And if you have any ideas of what you think my next couple of goals should be for the channel and the direction I take in my business, I'd love to hear what you think. Drop those in the comments below. So my October personal goals. So I'm back on that calorie average of under eating by 410 calories a day. In the category of be ready, I just want to continue focusing on doing all of those daily habits regularly. They're becoming even more important because of COVID. We're spending so much time at home. Both of us are working at home full time, so it's important to keep everything in the household running smoothly. The HVAC project, again, I hope to get those remaining tasks done. And then that productivity boot camp, I want to restart it and get through week 2. It's a 6-week program, but you can self-pace it however you like. So that just kind of, for me, that's about a third of the way through. And then my final thing is I want to work on the car repair. Because it was a theft, we want to file a police report, and then we're going back and forth with the insurance agency and that kind of thing. And then we're, trying to figure out if it makes sense to get the car fixed or if we should, get a new car or what. So trying to sort all that out. And as I said, fortunately, we live in an area where even before COVID, we did not drive much. We tend to walk and ride bikes just about everywhere we can. And then the final piece for October is my October calendar. There's a few things filled in already because we're a little ways into the month, but not too far, so that's good. And I want to take this opportunity, as I usually do during my Plan With Me videos, to encourage you to start or expand your goal-setting process and include some reflection or analysis time in that. This one thing has been so helpful to me in reaching my goals and seeing, one by one, like what's in my way. Let me find a way around that. What's the problem here? Let me fix that. And I just kind of keep chipping away at it until I get to that goal, and then I set it aside and pick something new. And I've been really pleased to show you some of the goals I've been working on over the last few years because, some of them have come full circle where I start them, I work on them, and then I finish them. And this idea of troubleshooting it and taking a long-term view and sticking with it, it has just been so helpful. And I feel like this is kind of the thing that's really led to a lot of advances in my life. And for me, I'm a slow and steady wins the race kind of person. So this is the only way for me to kind of make progress in my life, is to just take that slow and steady and one step at a time approach. So if you have any questions or comments or something you want to see in more detail, leave a comment down below and I will do my best to answer you. And if you want to see more videos like this, as well as OneNote tutorials and live streams on OneNote related topics, please subscribe by hitting the subscribe button and let me know you like this by hitting the thumbs up button. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you around. Have a great day. Bye-bye.